up again with Zebulun. She says, because I gave my, because I gave my servant.
She's not over it.
God's rewarding me.
No, she's not over it.
Oh, that's right.
She's not completely, she didn't come to the full realization. She's not over it. But I think that's why the significance of Judah being the chosen, the seed, is expressed there. In that at this point, she gets to this one point and says, well, thank you for the son. Right? And we know that the other three will lose their position of leadership, of headship, if you will. And yes, there's no lack of arrogance in these societies, because we've seen it before. We saw it with Sarah and Hagar. It's like, well, here, maybe through her, and then my son, you had him, but he's my son. The line's going to go through here. I mean, I wonder, did you? Okay, you probably can't. Oh wait, it's the next slide. That's why you can't read it. Leah, it's fitting. It's her name. Weary, grieved. Okay. Let's get here, and then I'll make my point. Zilpah has Gad and Asher. Somehow I don't think that she had, I don't know, I really wonder whether she had anything to do with the naming of these children. I mean, I don't think they got to. It's like, you work for me. Here's your assignment, thanks. Gad, and her name, I think, was really, it's just a drop to sprinkle.
Leah named him.
Yeah, I know, that's my point. Yeah, these women had nothing, I mean, they probably nursed them, and changed their diapers or whatever. They probably took care of them in that sense. But well, Hagar's a beautiful example in that, in fact, I think she was one of the few who really kind of, this is my boy. I think there's an element in Hagar that held on to Ishmael.
She got some coaxing.
Well, yeah, maybe because of what she went through with him. Maybe these women didn't even have the chance to form that bond.
Who the daddy was. I think she had more faith than Sarah.
Oh, well, okay.
That's why she was aggressive.
Yeah, without getting into another long, although I am in the rabbit trail guy, so I could do that.
Only one award per year.
Only one, okay. Not yet then, not yet. I don't think I want to use it
Oprah's
yet.
not here either.
I'm gonna hold.
Yeah.
And here's Bilhah, who is the next in the cycle of bearing. And finally, we get Rachel. Obviously, we don't have Benjamin yet, but I put it up there. Now, this I'd like to have some discussion. I mean, this is melodrama. I mean, this is the stuff that the soap operas are made of. It is perfect. It's beautiful. I mean, and I mean, the only one who really seems to have nothing to do with all this is Yaakov. I mean, he's a pawn. He is absolutely a pawn. I mean, this guy's getting bounced back and forth, and it's like, and I don't see him making any decisions.
He just worked it.
He wasn't complaining too much.
Well, maybe.
He's just a donor.
Maybe, that's right.
Okay, I'll do my job, I guess.
Maybe. I mean, I think there may be elements of that, but I don't know that that would be all that enjoyable, honestly. To be pulled 4 ways at least, if not 5. Once call Laban, add Laban in there.
He probably wishes he was more like his brother and a hunter so he could get out in the woods for a while.
he does call him Lord afterwards.
I think he was gone, because they had something planned by the time he came back.
That's
They had
right.
it cooking already, he knew what was going on, okay.
So
now.
let's go to mandrakes. What do mandrakes have to do with this?
When I first read the line, the thing that got me was, they were out doing a wheat harvest.
Right,
And he found mandrakes, and I saw it as tares among the wheat.
okay.
And he saw it, he wasn't looking for it.
When's the wheat harvest? First?
I don't know.
It's the spring.
Barley.
It is, barley is the first one, that's right. The spring, it's the fall, it's the fall.
It's very shallow.
And so
Yeah.
he knew something about this, was Reuben found him,
Well, it's definitely giving us
a timeline.
a time period, you know,
And so I looked up mandrakes,
right?
and they are narcotic, and they
Yes.
they were used medicine-wise, they were used to make people throw up, like if you had eaten something wrong, you didn't throw up, they were
Right.
emagog or something like that. I'm not sure.
Yeah,
So-
epicap,
Yes.
yeah, right?
And so if you are taking or eating or however you ingested
Right,
mandrake,
right.
you'd get high off them, you'd be
I
relaxed.
mean, I do know that, well, and plus, mandrake is also purported to have many magical properties.
Well, it was purported to have to.
Yes, you know, I mean, that was
They
used,
were
but again, in that genre, was used for that, it was a major component.
But if you wanted to look at it as a symbolic
Right.
thing, then you could go to Matthew 13:25. And this is a parable from Yeshua. The kingdom of heaven is like a man who sowed good seed in his field. But while people were sleeping, his enemy came and sowed weeds among the wheat, then went away. When the wheat sprouted and formed grains of head, the weeds also appeared. The owner's servants came to him and said, "Sir, didn't you sow good seed in your field? Where have the weeds come from?" He answered, "An enemy has done this." So
Mhm.
The
You could
enemy
look
was
at-
in their field back then even.
you could look at it as in the adversary placed it there to cause problems.
Well, yeah, and the adversary did it through Yeshua, through God. Because
Of course.
it still led to two more of
Right.
the 2 of the 12 tribes.
Right.
You know, so, I mean, yeah, it's still always in the plan, the circuitous route, if you will, which, and I know one of the other properties, why mandrake is considered magical and was used a lot in divination and things like that, is because the actual form of it looks very human.
The root was
The root
split.
looks like
Yeah.
it can have arms and a head.
Yep, so
Um,
they used it for the body and mind.
Right, so, now, obviously, I don't know if this, I did read one commentary that was made, or somebody else, maybe somebody I was talking to made the comment, that you wonder how much, it was tough, because, again, we still know that Yaakov is acting still more like Lot. So we wonder, how much is he teaching his wives? To where they're still probably carrying on practices that their father had imputed to them, like divination, like using of elixirs and whatever, that kind of stuff. So they're
Mixing
still
gods
going,
with magic.
right, an idol, yeah. So, I mean, again, I think trying to, it's really,
The mandrakes have value.
Oh,
because
they-
she's
yeah.
arguing over them.
yes, they
You
do,
wanna
right,
Take away my son's mandrakes too?
right, yeah. No, I think that's an excellent point, that there's, yeah, that there's an intrinsic value to them. Now, again, what that value is, you know, probably, again, is up for some speculation, but,
It's interesting that the girls were naming the children according to their little struggle with each other. Yet Rachel, she was saying, hopefully God will add more to me. So Joseph is, he shall add.
Right.
That was so prophetic, because he actually added 2 more tribes to Israel.
Right.
And to me, it's just very interesting that, they're caught up in this struggle and naming their children over their little game.
Well, and if you
But
look, I
there's
think,
something prophetic there.
and I think, and it's still to come, even with the other tribes. I mean, I think,
Do you think
discussed
they
it.
knew the prophecy? Do you think they knew, even though they weren't raised like they were? Think they knew, they did learn?
I doubt it.
Because she wanted, he shall add, she knew that there was gonna be.
But if you look,
Well, but that
Joseph
was
has an
Jacob's
important part.
doing. He added Ephraim and Manasseh himself.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, that's Israel doing that. I think, if you will, I think there's something to be said. If you take their names and then you add that to the end when Israel blesses them and gives qualities and speaks of the qualities of them and defines qualities within them. Obviously, it's not coincidental. But I think just like his renaming, I believe that there's a character development, a character change. Again, if you will, when we get later on, look at what someone's, obviously significant person, but someone's opinion, how it changes. When the angel of the Lord calls Gideon mighty warrior, he was hiding in the wine press. He didn't want to get found. He was trying to get some food because they've been stealing all the food all this time. He's trying to get some food so he can make some bread but he's hiding. He's trying to do it in the same